going through this whole pandemic thing. Everybody's quarantined. I haven't had to face with another human being in a long time, and you expect me to just be here to sit here and talk?
Yes.
I can talk like without problem until you tell me that I have to talk, and then I have nothing to say.
Okay.
Right? I never understood projects like that as a kid. Like, I have a lot of gripes with the public school system, but I never quite understood making kids get up to give speeches in front of the class that you know they're going to do a terrible job on. I get that the thought is to prepare them for public speaking, but not everybody streams. Not everybody does public speaking in their actual life. I know this dude. He only comes out of his house to go to work. Like, nicest guy you could ever meet, but he only leaves his home to go to work. When he gets to work, he'll say maybe 3 words to you. And it's 3 words in very heavy Louisiana Bayou speak. So it's like,
don't hang.
Exactly. I can understand it because part of my family's from Louisiana, but everybody else has no idea what he's saying. They think he's like a maddened mountain man who just doesn't want to talk to people. He's the nicest guy in the world, but like public speaking in public school, that didn't help him.
So what you're saying
didn't help
is
him a bit.
It's the character from Waterboy?
Farmer Fred. That's it. He's 100. He's a mechanic, but he's 100% Farmer Fred. To say, how was it?
No.
It's a Louisiana version of Boomhauer from King of the Hill. Nice guy though. Nice guy. And public speaking, not in his future. Maybe not so much as it is in ours. Oh, you're down here no more, man. That's fine. That's him every day. You say, "Hey, Pete. Hey, watch my man." What? That's it. And anybody who's watching or listening to this who has any sort of family from Louisiana knows exactly what I said there. And it'll be our secret. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode, what is it, 242?
42,
Is that it?
Yes.
242 of the Planet Destiny podcast. We are your hosts, the Black Link, Mr. Dan Finity,
Hi.
and Mr. Aura. Welcome back, man.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. Good to have you here. We are here to talk about what's going on in the Destiny community and maybe take, about an hour and a half's worth of your time, because that seems to be the golden spot for public gatherings and events. What'd you guys say?
Okay. I have a question. Are you saying that so that, like, we put that number out there that maybe we shoot a little under? Because we've been saying quick and dirty for a few episodes now, and they've always turned into like hour and a half episodes.
We're always like, yeah, man, we'll be done 30, 45 minutes.
So
1.5 hours later.
We can do that is if we move collectively 3 times over the course of that hour and a half span, once every 30 minutes.
But look, I've got fireworks I need to plan, okay? I got fireworks that I need to plan. Yes, they are very slow. They may appear as lines that come in from the sides, but in reality, it's just a good old hug. You know what I mean? It's just a hug.
It's very, very sparkly hug.
This is a very sparkly hug.
We're doing this. Doing it. We're doing it. We're there. We're there.
There we go. All right.
Come together.
Perfect.
And even that was faster than we got this
That was.
Destiny 2. Because, of course, Bungie hit us up with quite a few surprises, and we're going to be talking a lot about them. We got some teaser trailers earlier in the week that have started a lot of speculation about what we're going to be learning. Last week, Dan, you and I brought up something that Bungie might be doing something rather interesting with this content release schedule. They might just not say anything until it's time for the content to be released.
Yeah. I think they're not going to say anything.
They're seriously not going to say anything.
They have a day, right? They'd have to say stuff tomorrow.
Yeah,
June 9th.
Got one day.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
One day before season of the Redacted begins, and of course they haven't really told us anything that's coming next. So we were worried. We called it last week, like we're not going to have anything to talk about on the show. But thankfully, somebody at Bungie threw us at least a little bit of a lifeline here, because we did have some teaser trailers come out. We do know that earlier, before reset, about an hour before reset on June 9th, Bungie is going to be going live and they're probably going to be dumping everything. So it's going to be a huge news day. Make sure you're staying tuned to that. But also, earlier this week, right before the weekend, we got the news that the Almighty was going to be reaching its final destination on Saturday. And Saturday, at reset time, Bungie told us to be in the tower to witness Rasputin's rise against the machine, as it were. And I think a lot of people were expecting, one thing or another. I expected it to be about a Fortnite-styled community event. Like when they destroyed the towers with the meteor in Fortnite and stuff like that. And it was basically that, but maybe a little bit longer, about an hour and a half longer. Than it probably needed to be.
And they said you had to be in the tower. To
was that true?
To witness it. I mean, anybody can pick up the emblem right now. As far as I know, anybody can go into the tower and be like, "Oh, cool! There's a crater here. Oh, what's this?" And get the emblem. So you didn't technically have to be there for it, but unless that's witnessing the full might of Rasputin, which is a hole in our tower.
Yeah. It did result in a hole in our tower, but a very spectacular explosion. If you happen to be in the tower at reset, you got to basically witness the very slow assault that Rasputin made upon the Almighty. It was getting close. Everything was in position. But over the course of an hour and a half, we got to watch some satellites get fired towards it, eventually make contact, and then start to destroy the Almighty. After a significant amount of time, it did result in a pretty spectacular explosion before the flaming debris of the Almighty came crashing into the tower and over onto the landscape of the EDZ itself. Overall, I thought it was pretty neat event. It was cool to be there. It's definitely going to be one of those you had to be there moments. If people ask, well, what happened to the Almighty and all that? Well, yeah, you had to be in the tower and you got to watch it get destroyed and blown out. But if I had one complaint, I think it's the complaint that everybody had. I don't quite know that this needed to be
an hour
long.
Hour and a half long.
Yeah. I don't think this needed to be a 90-minute long event because for something that was supposed to happen at reset, a lot of people were sitting there. A lot of people were live streaming this as it went on. You were live streaming, Dan.
Yeah.
As I recall.
Yeah.
We're expecting this to be maybe a 10 to 15 minute sort of cool little community event that we got to witness and ended up dragging on for an hour and a half.
I got the clearance. I got the clearance from Jenny to stream yesterday because I was like, "There's going to be a community event. It's going to be awesome," and and she was like, "Okay, yeah. Like, how long are you going to be?" It's like, till 4, because I was like, this thing, like from noon to 4. I felt like it was a good amount of time. You get into the tower a little bit early, you like shake the rust off with some friends, and then like maybe hour tops, right? From 1 hour tops. And then no, it was, everybody was like, did it start? Did it start?
Can you see anything?
I feel like a lot of people thought that, like, a lot of people in the feed were just like, no, I don't, like, did they botch this? Like, what's going on? It's the first time they've done something like this. So, but it had to have started on time. It's just what you, it could have been compressed. They actually, I was talking about this yesterday with chat, and some folks had some pretty good ideas about it. Like, one of the things that we talked about was, like, if they had moved the end point to 1 p.m., but like started it at 12:30, right? So that people who had gotten in there a little bit early would see some of the majesty like starting to show up, and you'd see the red lines, and people would be tweeting, "Oh my God, guys, there's red lines now.
Get to the tower. Get to the tower.
Get to the tower now. There's red lines like in the sky aiming at," and then like everybody watches it like a fireworks display for like an hour. I think that's fine.
Right.
And then I feel like that was a good opportunity. I like it. I liked this kind of storytelling in this way better than a cutscene.
Oh yeah.
Just because it felt like we were there. We weren't witnessing it for 5 seconds. We were witnessing it like with everybody else in the community. So, and I think the numbers on Twitch were pretty huge, right? I think there was like
massive.
163,000 watching.
It was massive.
Yeah.
About 50,000 of which were watching Glad alone.
Yeah.
It was huge. And, I would 100% agree with that. I'm going to complain about the time frame in which it took place. I think it took a little bit longer than it should have. But ultimately, this was a fantastic event for the community. It was cool to sit in the tower, chill, watch this happen. And, of course, the storytelling on Twitter, the memes that came out of this are indeed priceless. There was some top tier 10 out of 10 legendary tweets that came out of this. But this kind of environmental in-game storytelling is so superior to the option of them just dropping a 20-second trailer showing the Almighty being blown up. So much better. I think if Reset had dropped and you load into the tower and there was just this quick 20-second cutscene of the Almighty being blown up, I don't think it would have had the same amount of impact that being able to watch this take place in the skies and actually feel the reverberations. Remember, when that thing blew up, it sent a shockwave. When it crashed, it sent a shockwave. If you were standing on the radio tower in the tower, that got blown up. I was not aware that was going to happen. That was my that was my viewing spot. So I got blown off of that and almost killed by the explosion of the Almighty. It was pretty neat. I feel like I was a part of things. I'd say I greatly prefer what they did here with this type of community event rather than just giving us the conclusion and a quick cutscene. Absolutely. This is way better.
What about you, Aura? What did you think of it?
So if you ask, there's not a single person who you're going to ask and they're going to tell you that they thought the time length was good. The whole 100% of the community thinks it was too long. Fine.
Yeah.
So I got to the tower right at reset. I was actually there maybe 20 minutes before reset.
Same.
And the community that I was in the tower with was very animated, very funny. And just and overall, it was a really, really great group of people. There was about 20 of us who were actually talking in game chat. Not one of us was in a party. So we didn't know who we were talking to before we got there.
Yeah.
And so as it's unfolding, we're grabbing the quickness. We're do you not pick me up or whatever? And you grab the jumping speed buff and you can jump high.
Yep.
So the whole tower did that. And we jump on top of Hawthorne and then reset hits. And we're dude, reset hit, the thing pops up with the quests and whatnot. We're what's going on? What's going on? And everyone's I don't see anything. Do you see anything? And for 20 minutes, we're going back. We're did Bungie mess this up? What's going on? We're checking social media. And of course, little by little, we started to see things develop. But the tower that I was in itself made the experience incredible. I didn't know any of these people.
Yeah.
A couple of them knew who I was, but I didn't know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really fun. And then as about maybe 5 or 10 minutes after the missiles or satellites or whatever it was started hitting the Almighty, I got beavered.
Oh,
yeah. And I had to go to a second tower.
Yeah.
And I get to the second tower, and the personality of that tower is that of an ironing board.
Oh.
Not fun. Nobody talking. Nobody's funny. Most people are negative. It was atrocious. The second tower that I was a part of was awful. And that was the group that I actually got to see it explode and land with. So that was pretty frustrating. But the last 5 minutes or so made the first 85 kind of worth it.
Yeah.
The thing that didn't make sense to me was I didn't know if I don't know if you guys ever saw Independence Day, but you know how they're attacking the big ship and it's hitting the shields in front of it, it's not doing damage.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what I thought was happening. I thought Rasputin was shooting this thing and it had defense mechanisms that were not allowing the rockets to hit. Because I couldn't tell that what I was actually witnessing was damage.
Yeah.
There was no indication that there was damage being done by these things other than yellow, which is the most, the least indication of damage ever in terms of the color, right? So I was this thing's got shields. It's still going to hit us. We're dead. Until the moment that it actually exploded, I thought it was going to still hit the tower, which I actually think would have been better. But
it just kills everybody in the tower.
Dude, I swear to God, I am waiting for us to lose. And I am waiting for Guardians to not be able to get the job done and actually suffer loss, because we didn't get to feel loss when we lost the Red War in the beginning. We showed up and they took the Traveler, and 5 minutes later we had no light, and 5 seconds later we were in the Infinite, the Black Forest, whatever it was. getting our life back. Like, we don't know what it's like to actually lose anything.
Yeah.
So I thought that's what was going to happen. And it didn't, which is fine. The animation and everything that occurred was actually pretty incredible after it finally exploded.
Mm-hmm.
But it probably took as long as it did because Bungie didn't know whether they could actually compress what happened in a background format.
Yeah,
this is, to my knowledge, like, how many games have taken a non-live event game and put a live event in it?
Yeah.
Not many.
I don't know of an example of it occurring. And how many have done it in like the least likely area for it to happen, which is the tower, which is the least animated functioning part of the game. Like, it is,
which probably makes sense.
It's like a 30-second repeat, right?
Yeah.
So they did it in like one of the most difficult ways they could have. And so for that, I commend Bungie. I think they did a tremendous job with it.
Absolutely.
I mean, the thing that made it great for me was the group of people that I was with in the tower for the first half anyway. And so to those Guardians out there, thank you. Like, that was a lot of fun for me. That made the hour and a half wait better. But I agree that this was better than a cutscene.
Yeah.
But dude, we're still working with an engine that was supposed to function on what, like,
last gen.
Yeah.
So, like, God knows what, it didn't look that great on PC,
right?
All things considered, but it had to be shipped in a manner that could function on console too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I heard
like,
console had fewer explosions.
Yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah. So, who knows what this kind of thing how it can be implemented as the game grows and as we switch to next gen hardware and whatnot.
Yeah.
What this means for the game itself, because it worked.
Yeah.
Might not have worked in the way we all wanted it to, but it actually worked.
Yeah. It was.
And how many things didn't? Like, how many things didn't work and broke? And wait, guys, we have to go back and put a hold on this. What did they push Forsaken back like a week because it wasn't ready? Like,
no, they pushed
Shadowkeep.
Shadowkeep.
Yeah.
Like,
and
this worked.
Yeah, they pushed Shadowkeep all the way back to Season of Undying starting, which is part of the confusion of what, like, Season of the Undying and Shadowkeep being kind of the same thing in most people's minds. But you also had, like, on launch day, was it Menagerie season? Was it the season of Menagerie where it was just like half the day was gone? Like,
something like that.
It just didn't update, and like
they had to push out a weird sort of update later on.
Yeah. It didn't work. Nobody could get in. It was they had to revert. Mm-hmm. And when was that the one where we got in and all of our stuff was gone?
Something like
that. Like, one of them, like, we loaded in and, like, nobody had any consumables anymore. It was all like they had to go back and revert and the undo button. Like think of all the things that were like, well, things that considered normal occurrences that went sideways. And this, although we didn't know it was going to be a slow burn. Like, we all thought, like, 1 o'clock sharp, dude, you know, like Rasputin's hand itself is going to come out of a planet, grab the Almighty, like, crinkle it down like this, and we're going to walk away. Like, we didn't know what to expect. So I think that was part of it too. Like, if we knew it was going to be a slow burn, then maybe we wouldn't have the issue with the fact that it took an hour and a half. But I think it was a huge win.
Yeah,
personally.
Absolutely.
And
like, good.
It brings possibility back into Destiny of actually witnessing events rather than being told about them, or them happening to someone else that is an avatar for us in that cutscene, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I dug it. I dug it in that regard. I thought it was a success.
Absolutely.
I thought it was a success for their first time doing it. They have to have, like, retention rates for players and everything like that, and they'll tune that as they need to see fit. I'm thinking I want to say, like, I was playing with Joshua JJB2 earlier, and he said I think Tay Benny on Twitter said something about, like, it took that long. They wanted to. It had to be a slow burn so that people could get into the tower, and without the game crashing, like without every instance crashing. I'm trying to back that up. I'm trying to find that tweet, but
Yeah, a couple of devs have been tweeting about it.
Yeah.
One was mentioning, just to go back to something that Aura said, this is the first time they've done something like this, and I would go as far to say is they knocked it out of the park. This for new technology. They said they had to basically build the structures that they use to code this from the ground up. After, I'd imagine that happened after this season began. This is their first time doing something like that. And so yeah, as far as storytelling goes, this is fantastic. I would give them a 10 out of 10 for what they've done here. And I want to see them do more stuff like this. It's so much more satisfying to be a part of this story being told rather than just getting to the end of content, watching a quick cutscene and saying, okay, well, that's over. That feels empty. I think I can say, as much as I like Shadowkeep, getting to the ending cutscene there with your doppelganger in the Black Garden felt empty.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like there was really any weight or anything tied to that. It just kind of felt like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll see what's happening with that in a year or two. This felt like much better storytelling, in my opinion. I want to see way more stuff like this in the future. It's good work. Good work.
Yeah.
And they gave us an emblem, so.
Yeah, you got an emblem. You got.
Yeah,
new...
the emblem should only be available to those who were in the tower when it happened. There
I agree.
Should be. Yeah.
I mean, it's like FOMO is okay. It's okay to not be there. I understand people had to work. I think they picked midday on a Saturday to be as beneficial to the majority of the population as possibly can. Of course, people in Australia and New Zealand, kind of like I remember seeing Tamsin be like, "It's 3 a.m., dude. Like, what's going on?" Like, you know what I mean? So that's part of it, but. I mean, if they were an Australia-based development team, there's a chance that it would have been 3 a.m. for us here in the U.S. So, like it.
Yep.
But,
if you want to be there, be there.
Yeah.
Right. So
and it's not like it's a weapon or something, It's just
right.
an emblem.
Right. It's an emblem, and it could always be available via some triumph next season. You know what I mean? I just think that I don't know. I think they could have done more. I think it would have been better if the Almighty didn't get destroyed. I think if maybe. Rasputin, instead of shooting the Almighty, maybe Rasputin shoots us in the tower and blows us up. Like,
dick move.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like.
Did it make throwing all those freaking balls at the uprights this season worth it?
I didn't see as many, like, for all the lines that we saw. I didn't see 3 million of them. I'm just saying
9 million.
I didn't see 9 million of them.
9 million.
Well, that was the other thing that we were talking about in the tower was. That's supposed to be fired from all 3 bunkers, right?
That's two of the bunkers. That was 2 of the bunkers.
So what's the third bunker doing?
It would have been cool to see some of those satellites firing up. Although I guess technically we had already fired those satellites into orbit. So what we should have seen was them in orbit going towards the Almighty rather than just seeing what looked to be coming from other planets. Satellites going towards the Almighty.
You got EDZ, you got the moon, you got Io, but we only saw salvos from what I believe to be 2.
So and if you look at the, I think Io is the only one that's outside of the belt range, right?
Yeah.
So it would make sense if it was like Earth and Moon's volley that came in, and then we don't know what happened to the third volley. Anon Pig has been talking about that, like lore wise,
right.
Like, where did that volley go off to? If it only took 2 volleys to take down the Almighty.
Tower were saying that Io's gone.
It was for a second, I think, in certain instances, but it's there. It's currently there. I saw it today. I didn't visit it.
Well, I had to go get it today because I got the Almighty title. I needed the heroic bunker today to get mine, the lost sector. But
congratulations!
Yeah. Fine.
Yay!
I love like waiting to the last minute. Oh, apparently Conqueror and Flawless are available next season too. I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah. Because those are tied to Trials and Grandmaster Nightfalls?
Nightfalls. I guess I did the right seal if I was going to get one this season then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
is that waiting for the darkness or whoever's arriving in the Doritos? Like, is that what that's for?
Who knows?
Maybe.
Who knows? It could be.
That would be interesting.
Like, what if that's what we get? Oh, fuck. Oh, man. What if, buddy, what if Tuesday we get, like, we do get a cutscene, but it's like that volley going to the Dorito ship, and they're just like doing nothing.
Ooh,
Like
that would be cool.
nothing. You would get some Taken King vibes.
Yeah.
Out of it. It would be a nice little like tie-in thing. Honestly, what I would have wanted to see happen. Like this is like in a perfect world, money is no object kind of deal.
Right.
We don't know what's going to happen on Tuesday.
Yeah.
The Almighty blows up before our eyes. The tower gets more damage than just like one section. And everybody in the tower just becomes like a ghost orb, right? All of a sudden in your comms, you just hear Guardian down, and it's just like
Guardian
everybody. Everybody's wiped out. You res yourself, and on the director, like you see the burning you see the smoldering like vestige of the Almighty in the mountains behind the tower, and a new adventure appears, right? You go into the adventure. It might not be for a weapon. It may just be a prelude in the next season, a hint of some sort, kind of like what happened in Taken King. Right?
That'd be interesting.
Like you go in and you're experiencing that gap story somewhere in there. That
would be interesting.
No holds barred take for it, but yeah, that would have been really cool. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, because we have no idea.
Yeah,
Bungie hasn't done this before. We're on the cusp of a brand new content release. We've got a whole new season of content getting ready to start in a day and a half or so, and we have no idea what it's going to entail. We have no idea what's going into it. We have no idea what we're going to be doing. We have no idea what activities are coming into it. So at this point, anything could happen, man. Absolutely anything. I have no idea. And
no clue.
All we know is that June 9th, we're supposed to be learning more about what's coming next in the world of Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what all this entire week has kind of been about. It's been about teasing what's going to be happening next. Of course, earlier in the week, we had two teaser trailers drop. The first showing Eris Morn on the icy moon of Jupiter known as Europa. And then the second showed the Drifter basically leaving the derelict and heading to that exact same place, hinting that we might be heading to the icy moon itself. Mm-hmm. If not this coming season, then in whatever DLC is going to be coming later on for season 12. What do you guys think?
I don't know how they show us that and we don't go there. Wouldn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Where's it going to fit? Where's Europa going to be on our directory?
I don't know.
Was.
I don't know. So like there's a few things with this. If you look at like there was a thing that I found, I forget who posted it originally, but they took the D1 original cutscenes where like the Ares 1 mission had touched down, and then where a probe had like passed by, and it's almost the same sweeping motions as these new trailers that we're seeing with characters that we know and love. Right. There's also thoughts about there being a third that we do not know about. And there's been some speculation surrounding Mara Sov and possibly a certain stranger, a certain Elsie Bray, as it were.
Certain stranger, yeah.
So I've been working here and there on wrapping up some Triumph Score when I get the chance to play.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'm doing is working on the Ecdysis lore book, which comes from the Invitations of the Nine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I have one remaining lore entry to pick up. The one I got this weekend, this is going all the way back to Season of the Drifter. It actually showed the Dorito ships.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
It showed the Dorito ships, and then it shows the Drifter freaking out at the emissary about them. Like, you know about that? So, like, it's really interesting that I'm at that point in the lore book 2 days before we figure out what the hell's going on. I thought that was really, because I don't pick up on shit like that. I'm so like focused on getting something done that I actually barely pay attention to what's really happening within the game itself. So like it makes sense to me why Drifter would be getting inside his ship and heading in that direction. What I don't quite understand is Eris there because we gave her the volleyball?
Very likely.
Who knows? Who knows? I just posted the link to that tweet in chat. And then
I mean, there's a lot of lore. Just really quickly, there's a lot of lore there, and in particular with the secrets of the Nine and that entire lore chain that you're going through right now. Or it's actually perfect that you bring that up, because the Nine. We now know that the Nine are basically like the sentient spirits of the planets of our solar system. That's basically what the Nine are shown to be. Throughout that chain of lore, they talk about 3 individuals in the solar system who superseded their predestined design. One is the Drifter. One is Eris Morn. The other is very likely the Exo Stranger. Yeah. Which is another reason why people think that we're probably going to get another of these Europa-style teaser trailers or whatever trailer Bungie's going to put out on Tuesday if they put out a trailer. And it's very likely going to include the Exo Stranger. That's been a part of a lot of leaks that we've been seeing over the past couple of months. It also leads to another big question of a bit of content that was actually kind of revealed in Destiny 2 years ago, like a couple of months after it first came out on PC, that has basically been dormant in the game files for a long time. And that is the notion of returning to something else that's in the orbit of Jupiter. The Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Dreadnought files were found in D2 years ago. That was a part of a data mine that came out years ago, including stuff like audio logs for patrol missions. The full load-in cutscene for the Dreadnought, it's identical to the one we had back in D1. Sometimes, very rarely, it can actually happen still in D2. I think when you're loading into, it's like either IO or Titan or something, it'll just play the Dreadnought loading. Like you'll load in and you'll see the Dreadnought there, just like it was in D1. And so there's some speculation that as with whatever's coming either next season or with the DLC, we might be going back to the Dreadnought as well.
Yeah.
A lot of weird stuff going on there, and it all kind of leaks together with the lore bits that you're going through right now to Aura. So good timing for you on getting that stuff done.
What would cause Drifter to leave the derelict?
Triangles.
Yeah. Well, and Radaka brings up an excellent point in chat. He said, yeah, the Drifter was making prep for bad things happening, and he offered us a spot on his ship to get out. That's what that whole like snitch Vanguard Drifter
that's what all of Gambit is.
Yeah, that's all that was. So
that's what we're doing.
I don't know. Some people have been talking about I don't know. I don't know if that's like just something that I just saw something online where they were talking about adding like a version of Gambit where they would add champions to Gambit.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
Yeah.
Gambit's already hard enough to play. I don't have to worry about people not bringing anti-barrier hand cannons or whatever. Please, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. There's also like stories about like his crew, right? His crew was kind of eaten by monsters who were who could sap the light from you. Yep. Correct? And so
monsters that they found at that dark obelisk on an icy planetoid.
Yeah. So we know about this weird horror nightmare thing that could be coming for us sometime in the near future. If it does, I hope it looks like an H.R. Geiger.
If only.
Oh boy. But yeah, I don't know. It sounds who knows what's going to happen.
There's a lot of narrative threads that they could take there, and in particular, I like the notion. I like the thought of the Exo Stranger coming back, because that fits in with so many other bits of lore and hints that have been dropping basically since Warmind came out. There have been references to the Exo Stranger's return for a long time. Even so much as with this last quest, there's a couple of references to the Stranger with Anna and whatnot. And I would love to see. I can't wait to see what they're going to be putting out story-wise when June 9th rolls around.
Mm-hmm. There's also in that trailer where Eris is kind of pushing through. people were commenting about the energy that's kind of showing up on her hand. If that's like,
Yeah.
if that's a field that she's pressing up against or something that she's using to kind of clear the way.
I thought that was her
Right.
rock thing, her little.
Yeah.
I didn't look at it all that, but I thought that was just her little orb thing that she always has.
People then put that side by side with the energy signature from the no time to explain.
Yes.
And
yeah.
it is shockingly similar. So,
I mean, I'm just saying.
mhm.
I'm just saying.
It looks pretty interesting.
Yeah. There's definitely some interesting lore bits that are being dragged out here, and I suspect that we'll be seeing a continuation of the stuff that we learned from the 9 storyline with the Drifter and hearing the history of that. I do get the feeling that Marasov is probably going to be popping back up sometime soon. And with the last little bit of leak information we got from this week from people who are playing like the French and German versions of the game, they got a splash screen that everybody got talking about us about paying attention to next week, of course, because the 9th is when they're going to be putting up information. Like the French and German version of the game actually called the Season of the Arrival, which might give us a hint at what exactly is going to be going on there if that naming scheme goes through. I get the feeling that I don't think Doritos are going to be a thing until whatever expansion's coming out later this year or D3.
Yeah.
They're too close.
You think so?
Too close to not be included in what's going on.
You think it's going to be this coming season?
I don't know how you not have it become. How do you have content this season if that's not it, considering it's been the background focal point for all of this season? They just stop. They just stay outside the asteroid belt and wait.
They just slow it down. They enter a 20 mile per hour zone. So they just got to slow it down until they get out of the residential area. I mean, the way I look at it is
there's no content if they don't bring I mean, the hints of Eris and the hints of the Drifter. I mean, Drifter's leaving to go fight the Doritos. The whole reason he's leaving is to go see whatever this is. I'm not sure what Eris is doing there. I can only imagine that it has something to do with the fact that we gave her that volleyball after Shadowkeep. But it's like,
right,
she's gonna spike it, man.
Bungie said that they wanted to tie narratives season to season, and the only thing that makes any sense to me moving forward is whatever's coming on those ships. I don't think there's any others. But then again, I didn't see the storyline of the Almighty being the defining narrative for this season either. I was like, I forgot the Almighty even existed. So
yeah, that and Radaka had kind of talked about that too, where it's like, well, the Almighty wasn't the big bad. There really wasn't a big bad this season, except for that might have that people being at home and the activity requirements will probably be remembered as the major pain points of this season.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. Was it so? We've kind of talked about this a few times. When it comes to seasons, do you guys think that this was worth your $10?
I guess I played more than 60 hours, so I'm obligated to say yeah.
I've spent $10 on way worse than that. But this might be the season that I say, okay, Season of the Forge was better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I despised.
You hated that
and
thing.
You know I hate that. You know I despised everything about that season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be the one that I go back and I look at and I say, okay. And again, the selling point for this season was Trials of Osiris.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Season of the Almighty. It wasn't and so that's why I would say that it was a little bit weaker, because I just it wasn't fun enough for me to say this is how I want to spend my time. Yeah. So
I 100% agree.
The best thing I'd say that happened to me this season was I got the ornament for the Beloved out of one of those engrams. One of those luminous engrams or whatever they're called. So like that's pretty cool. And I don't think I would have spent $10 on an ornament, but I guess I did.
Yeah.
I guess I did kind of sideways. But
So you didn't spend $10 on Season of the Worthy. You spent $10 on an ornament. That's
I guess
how
so.
we'll
Yeah.
rationalize it. Yeah. Hey, I wasn't paying for a Seraph Tower public event. Screw that. Now I was paying for my beloved ornament.
And the best thing to happen this season, the bunkers were more of a chore than a challenge.
Absolutely.
The heroic lost sectors, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Seraph
The public
Tower event.
same kind of thing. So
Yeah.
It was
Also,
an afterthought. Yeah.
for those in chat, today is the quarry. Today is the last day that you can possibly get Fourth Horseman this season, unless they throw
how
an
do you get
audible on
that
Monday.
light machine gun? I forgot how to get the light machine gun.
You had to complete Guardian games, which
Oh yeah.
I
Heir
did.
apparent.
yeah, you had to talk to.
Wait, you never got heir apparent, Aura?
I don't think I ever picked it up.
Ooh, buddy. So it seems like you're gonna have to wait a while.
you might have to wait a little bit to get your hands on that then.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And that's a
my
fun
$10 back.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not that big of a loss. That Radaka's right. It's not that big of a loss. It is pretty
You'll
cool
use
to
it
use
once or
against
twice.
Vorgith.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Ball stomp.
it's
Yeah, I mean, well, I can only hope that next season offers more to do than this season did. You know, less busy work and more meaningful content. Because
So they don't have trials to
Lean in.
invest the time or money in outside of map rotation and maybe and I don't even think this is going to be a thing, but a new set of weaponry. I doubt. Maybe some version of adapt, but I don't even think that's going to be this season. So this should have had, from a development standpoint, almost 100% focal point on PvE story narrative related content. So I think this, and it might be the first one since what? Savior? Because this season was about trials for the most part. So back until Saint 14 saving him and bringing him back was the last time that there was a focal point on a true narrative. And that was a pretty good, things considered.
Yeah. Season of Dawn was pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Dawn, Dawn is what I kind of stacked these up against. Undying. Do I like Undying more than this season?
Oh man, that's rough.
No.
Yeah.
I'll do a Seraph Tower all day before I ever want to run Vex Offensive ever again in my life. I forgot.
So
dude,
boring.
you know what? I forgot that season existed.
Yeah.
I take back what I said about Scourge, because I literally wrote that season off.
Yeah.
I despised it so much. I was I deleted it from my memory. I did like this season more than that Undying.
Yeah.
The only thing about Undying was that the seal is still the most beautiful seal that exists in the game.
It's a pretty one, and I didn't get it.
It hasn't arrived yet. By the time we actually get it delivered, we're not gonna care. But
yeah. So we had all that. The only other thing that I can think of that they talked about in this week's TWAB, besides their BLM initiatives and their pride pins that go to benefit It Gets Better project, they talked about Preview 2.9.0, which will be arriving on Tuesday as well.
Yes.
So through that, we have Eververse changes, where they say a few TWABs back, we talked about the future of Eververse and how we'll be making changes to some reward structures to better balance gameplay rewards with Eververse content. Season of Redacted will contain a few introductory changes and more shifts coming to Season 12. The following changes will become available next week. Legendary armor ornaments. As noted in the previous TWAB, we have shifted the Season 11 armor offering to gameplay reward for aspirational content. That's a big win.
Big win.
The Season of Opulence Intrepid ornament sets are returning to the storefront.
Just really quickly for people who are listening or watching and may not understand what that means. Next season, basically what Bungie's done is they've taken the armor that was going to be in the Eververse, the Season 11 Eververse armor offering. They've taken it out of Eververse. They made it earnable in-game via aspirational content. Aspirational content is stuff like raids, trials, dungeons, stuff like that. So you'll actually be able to earn that Eververse armor in-game by playing content rather than, running your chances with RNG, with luminous engrams or whatever is going to be the Eververse engram next season, or having to spend money on it. Very cool.
Yeah. The season pass added an additional 2,300 bright dust to the seasonal pass. Bright dust purchases added a flare section to feature shaders and spawn effects. Highly requested items from previous seasons will once again be available. We're looking at you, Wishes of Sorrow. And we will once again communicate Season 11 silver-only items at the beginning of the season. We're expecting to have an update later in Season 11 on further changes to Bright Dust acquisition, so keep your eyes peeled. There's some sandbox changes where Powerful Friends, the armor mod, no longer stacks. So I know a lot of people were going after that a couple weeks back when that was sold. Yep. Yeah.
Can't get that super bonus agility anymore.
Yeah. Enhanced auto rifle loader, enhanced fusion rifle loader, and enhanced bow loader armor mods now have a chance to drop from Pinnacle mod sources. Raid rewards. This is kind of huge. 1,000 voices, anarchy, and always on time. The exotic sparrow from the secret chest in Scourge of the Past are getting increased drop chances. Drop chances begin at 10% and increases to a max of 50% over 20 clears. So you'll
run your raids.
Run your raids. 100 clears for more for anarchy, which I still don't have.
You still don't have.
Same. I don't have it.
Guys, we need to
honestly
fix this.
Scourge is a strike, so it's like a 30-minute thing.
Yeah, but it's like 30 minutes. It's 30 minutes. Do you hate it that bad?
No, it's fine. The thing about it is, like, whenever anybody asks me to run a raid, it's always they're like, "Yo, let's just run a Scourge real quick, dude." Like, like whatever, we'll just be done in 5 minutes, and it's fine. Still don't have the anarchy, which I don't even know if I would use if I did. I don't understand the gun because I don't have it. So
yeah.
The most broken uses for it have all been patched anyway, so my desire to get it has similarly disappeared. I no longer care.
I don't know.
It got sunset. It got sunset.
But at the same time, it's still so useful. It is still so useful in so many different situations, especially like if in Grandmasters, it's kind of a go-to weapon. And like you just chuck two bolts on them, and they'll burn down. Like it still does good DPS. You guys got to get it. Come on. Let's next week sometime. Let's schedule something. The three of us and like 3 other people. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Maybe we could get somebody from the Planet Destiny team to stream it. Yeah.
I'm down.
Sweet. Okay. Trials rewards. Additional masterwork material rewards now drop from 3, 5, and 7 trials wins. They added a trials weekly bounty, which unlocks trials engrams on State 14. The bounty reward will match the win 3 milestone reward of the week. Trials tokens distribution has been balanced to focus on wins 3, 5, and 7 of the trials passage. This includes repeat passages. Trials tokens are no longer awarded from match completions. Tokens are now granted specifically through wins and bounties. And Passage of Wealth now doubles the bonus trials tokens earned at 3, 5, and 7 trials wins. What do you guys think of those changes?
I think it's good. Bungie's trying to figure out a way to get away from the system they've got going on right now, which has not been conducive to a long-term trials play, shall we say. And I think the right focus there being on, renovating the reward system a little bit better, making it a bit more, a bit more worthwhile to actually run your 7 wins. I think it's probably the right way to look at it.
Yeah. What about you, Aura?
I don't know enough about the game mode to even. I mean, I literally wrote trials off after like the 3rd week. I was like, I'll watch a little bit here and there, broadcasters streaming it and playing with friends and whatnot, but I don't know if that's the answer. When there are some other pretty significant glaring problems that are like, the economy is not going to matter if the environment's terrible, and the environment still has not, unfortunately, been. Now it's gotten better because I think a lot of the people that were part of the problem kind of went away once the titles had all gotten handed out. But I still think that cheating is an issue. and until cheating is really, and I commend Bungie for doing the bans and having the anti-cheat systems in place and whatnot, but until the environment improves, I don't think the reward system is going to much matter.
Yeah,
I agree.
Outside of that, the only other thing I'm scrolling through the TWAB this week. They're changing how, like, they're allowing you to remap your controller layout, your button layout on the controller, which is super sweet. I think that's going to be
huge.
So nice for so many people.
As I learned mouse and keyboard.
Yeah. Now that you're jumping to mouse and keyboard, they finally say,
but you could
sectors and stuff I've been running. I've been playing mouse and keyboard. I've been working on. There's a triumph score for heroic story missions with Curse of Osiris and Forsaken, and so I've been running through those playing mouse and keyboard, and now I'm starting to really like playing mouse and keyboard. And now they have these changes to controller.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could be playing claw though.
I'll never. That's something that the kids can do. I can't do the.
Yeah, that ain't me. I get cramps thinking about that.
Oh boy. There's also.
But it is cool. It is cool
ahead.
they're finally doing that, and it's pretty extensive. Like the number of things that you can map is basically insane. Even so much as being able to map the special the special effects of certain weapons, like the secondary effects of stuff like hard light. Being able to swap your element. Right now, I think it's just hold reload to do that. You can change it to a double tap, and you can even edit like the amount of time in between the taps that the game has to register for it to actually do that. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that they're focusing on this sort of customization for all controller players.
Yeah.
Thumbs up from me.
Yeah.
Take that, mouse and keyboard elitist. Not only is Bungie full support controller, they're making it easier for controller players. So if you do have an issue with that, give me your address. I'll get you some diapers and some tissues.
Ooh.
Toward the end here, we do have some information about Season the Worthy items that are leaving on June 9th reset. Season Worthy Season Pass and any available bonuses. The Season the Worthy Seal and Almighty Title. Almighty Title must be claimed and equipped. So you have to claim and equip it in order to...
Oof.
Yeah. Access to the EDZ, Moon, and IO Seraph bunkers. They are going bye-bye. They are not a permanent fixture. Warmind Kanjali seasonal artifact. The Seraph Tower public event, and the Fourth Horseman and Fellwinter's Lie quests are all going away. So finish those up real quick.
Yeah.
Some of the resolved issues that are coming. Polaris Lance's perfect 5th explosive shot is no longer being canceled by subsequent shots. Dune Marcher's linear actuator perk will now work after triggering on yellow bar enemies. Players on Steam will no longer have their FPS locked to 30 frames per second when relaunching the game.
Thank you.
Offline players and clans will no longer have their names set to offline. And Warlock Celestial Fire melee ability will now trigger the Winter's Guile Warlord Sigil perk. So,
they fixed it.
Yep.
Man, one thing about that, of course, you got to claim your Almighty title. Aura, you got yours done this week. I've been trying to work on getting mine done, and I have one challenge left to complete. Can you guess what it is?
Is it the flawless bunkers public event?
Hard-coded
It's
victory?
it's hard-coded victory, the flawless bunker event. And that is so frustrating.
I did that on the moon.
Yes.
Not even trying. Using blue weapons because I was doing bounties. So I had a blue AR on. I had to get AR kills with 5 people total. There's 5 of us, and we flawlessed it. Me with
Witchcraft.
Blue weapons on.
Heresy.
I tweeted a picture of the whole group. I was like, "You guys are not leave. We're getting a group picture."
Dark magic.
Like, what do you mean we just did this?
Yeah.
And not only did we do it, we didn't break a sweat. I must have been like the 4 greatest PvE players that existed in the world.
Like,
no problem.
Did you do it this week?
I did it last week.
Last week.
2 weeks ago. I tweeted it.
So you did it 2 weeks ago. So the moon goes from like Hive to I think Fallen, and Hive is the easiest of the two. Honestly, Hive, I've been helping people out on Hive weeks on the moon.
I'm
get
pretty sure it
victory.
was Fallen when we did it.
Yeah. Well, good on you. Those teleporters. Screw them.
They suck.
Yeah,
Good Lord,
they
the
suck
captain.
so bad.
Please.
But the moon is probably the easiest to get. So you still have a couple of days. To do that. So
I started it by myself. There was nobody there. I started it. I'm working on, because ever since I got the beloved ornament, I'm like, dude, I got to turn these engrams in over and over, because maybe Spare Rations ornament is chilling in there somewhere. You know what I mean? Like the ornament. So like I'm just turning and burning bounties, and I started. I'm not even paying attention. So we fail. Next time I start it, here comes like the 4 horsemen come riding. You know what I mean? over the cliff. So it was pretty great.
I'm so mad about that, because like, how did you find 5 people to run this?
I don't even think the enemies made it out of the spawn where they land out of the ship. Like, we decimated that public event. I think we actually did it twice in a row too.
Yeah.
Jeez. Unbelievable. I've been having the worst luck trying to get that done over the past couple of days, especially on the moon. I can get people to pop up all the time on IO and on the Winding Cove who are running it. But whenever I try to run the moon, which is the easiest to complete, there'll be like maybe one other person in the instance, and that one person is refusing to come take part in the Seraph Tower. I don't know what they're doing in that instance. They're just running around doing patrols. They're refusing to do the tower. Like, why are you here? That's the only thing to do here. Why are you here?
I had to do the triumph for wearing the full set of Seraph armor.
Yeah.
Yes.
It turns out I deleted the helmet and the class item every time I got it. So like I had to go back and re-earn them. So yesterday I was farming the event again, and we didn't come close. And I think I had the maximum amount of players in the instance, and we nowhere near flawless. So I get where you're from. We got it done, but like the group that I swear to God, that the screenshot somewhere on my Twitter feed, like that group of Guardians, they were just absolute savages. Like they were nuts.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Awesome.
Okay, so Dan, I know you've been helping people get that done.
Yeah.
What are your tips for anybody out there trying to get hard-coded victory finished, like myself?
Do not be afraid to talk to local chat. Sometimes you will be told to fuck off. Other times you won't be, and they'll be nice, and they will open their party, and you can like flood your friends into their like instance. We've had that several times.
Area of effect supers. So tether,
Yes.
hammers with a Titan. I don't know what for Warlock, maybe Stormcaller. You want to clear maximum ads as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
Anything with Demolitionist on it to get you your grenade back quickly. And you just, I mean, like, there's only 3 places where they spawn.
Yeah.
You just sit your ass in one of those spots with a sword and hack away.
Yeah.
Tractor cannon does affect the orb. So I think it affects it from like instead of 6 orbs, you need it makes it 4 if it's affected.
You're talking about the thing you throw the ball at. You hit that with tractor cannon?
Yeah.
Okay.
You hit that with tractor cannon, it should take 4. If it might be 4 or 5. I believe it's 4. Honestly, we just had today we hit up somebody on PlayStation because we had people in chat that needed it. And we hit somebody on PlayStation, and I just typed a novel in my friend request. I was like, hey, we're trying to get hardcore victory. Would you mind opening up your party? And we can filter people through. I got people on stream, and we're just going to do 2 people per plate. And that's what we did. We did 2 people per plate.
Right on.
And that guy, Big Shy, I think his name is Big Guy Tai Tai. Big Guy Tai Tai on PSN. I love you. He didn't have he wasn't able to talk to us. He didn't have a mic, but he was able to hear us, and he was awesome, man. He was great. And then so we did that. I've been using a Seraph build where I have I throw double nades. My nades are up to like over 100 right now.
Yeah.
For discipline. So like when I chuck a grenade, I've got 2 of the Kanjali of the artifact mods on, where like I get my grenades back super fast if they all hit, and it's hold on one second here.
Spawn a Warmind bit.
Yeah. They do that.
It's Arc ability spawn Warmind bits. Yeah.
Yes, Arc ability spawn Warmind bits, and they also have cellular modulation on them, so that when they get triggered by the grenade because of the double skip, it blinds everybody in the vicinity.
Yeah.
And like not only that, but they're susceptible to more damage, and they also you also receive less damage from them. Like, I've got nades for days. I'm gonna be so sad on Tuesday when this build becomes like nearly like completely invaluable. But like, it is such a good build for controlling ads, because
I can't believe you had to do all that, and I'm out here with the blue AR and a sidearm.
Look, I've been using those skip nades
with none of those
everywhere.
mods. I haven't used a single mod from the artifact at all ever.
Yeah.
This not one.
You should have been, because it was fucking awesome.
It's strong. They're pretty strong.
Very strong.
With an arc build, they're very strong.
Yeah, it's like I'm throwing nades everywhere. It is blinding everything. It makes it so much easier to deal with mobs of ads. And like, it's been a blast. I've had a lot of fun with that build. I'm gonna be sad to see it go. I'm looking forward to seeing what we get artifact wise next, because I'm still gonna be keeping this armor so I can do that in the future.
Here's what we're gonna do. Tomorrow, we're gonna put on all blue gear.
Okay.
And we're gonna get TBL his flawless.
Okay.
All blue arm. All blue weapons.
I'm off after 6.
All blue gear.
I'm off after 6.
I should be around.
Okay. What about
I'll
you?
Give it a couple of shots.
Oh hell yeah, boys! Let's do this.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we could get some. Oh boy, yeah, this will be fun. But yeah, so basically, just in my experience, don't be afraid to talk to the community around you. For the most part, everybody's nice, and as I kind of have to. It's kind of like coaxing a bunny towards you.
Yeah.
You have to convince the bunny that you're not going to murder the bunny. You just want to hold it and pet it and have it open its fire team up for you, so that you can bring a couple of your friends onto their fire team, and you can like have more people in communication. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
That makes
the
sense.
Destiny community is the bunny. You got to coax the bunny.
Yeah. But other than that, yeah, that's those are some of my tips. I just keep 2 people there on each plate. I think that's easy enough. And especially with Hive, Vex were actually really, really easy to do on IO, because their spawn points, you can just lock them in there. You don't even have to worry about them coming out to the plate. So yeah.
Good stuff. I hope people take those tips to heart, especially the wear
for
blue
one day.
for one day. Viable. You got 1 day left. Get it done. Well, all right. I'm pretty sure that's it for the news that we had to cover this week, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you say we speed run some questions and get on out of here for the night?
All right. Sounds good. Gray Fox, you asked many great questions. I'm not going to get to all of them. Just saying. So Gray Fox asks, with Europa as a possible place in the fall, what snow activities do you want your Guardians to do in the fall? Hot cocoa making, gingerbread making, murder ball with snowballs?
SRL. My answer's always going to be SRL on a sleigh. Always.
I don't want Europa to be the fall. I want Europa to be this season.
Yeah. That would be bonkers if they did that. Like
a new play space?
Yeah. It would subvert expectations so hard to do that.
Yeah.
And I dig it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Are we just going to be blindsided by the content if it's not Europa? If we're not going to the icy place to meet these Doritos, like, are we just literally be completely blindsided with what happens on Tuesday? Like, none of us had seen it coming, because there was no preview anywhere to how this narrative is advanced. I don't know.
We've got no idea, not a clue where they're going with this, and it's terrifying, really ballsy, and also kind of exciting. I'm excited to see what they're going to be putting out on Tuesday morning.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy. I know they've never done this. They have never done this. And that means that anything is possible. It could be the best thing ever that happened to Destiny this coming Tuesday. Or fill in the blank.
Get the what
Gambit
is it? Somalian
with champions, yeah.
Get the Paul Bear dancing memes ready, because it could be that too.
So I don't know. Yeah, I'm excited about it. the closer it comes, the more excited I am, especially after seeing this public event.
Yeah,
or this
that was
community
cool.
event. Like,
it was cool.
That innovation in the storytelling could lead to so many other cool moments in the universe down the line.
Absolutely.
So, Kinsey 900. With weapon sunsetting, should Bungie just autocomplete ritual pinnacle weapon bounties? They can't be used for in-game activity in year 4, so why not let players be enjoy these weapons that they haven't got to get yet, and probably won't bother to do after this season?
That's my only problem with this. A lot of people who are, still midway through, say, the Redrix Claymore or Broadsword or whatever it is quest, people who are midway through still on like Luna's Howl, there's going to be no reason to complete those quests. I don't think Bungie should auto-complete them. I don't. Yeah. Maybe they can go through another round of altering the requirements for some of them, especially for stuff like Redrix, which is such a long quest to get done. Maybe they could go through reducing some of the steps for those so you can get it done faster. But I still think you should have to, if you want to be able to use it, you should have to get the quest done. No free rides.
Yeah. So there should be sunsetting and then an asterisk.
Okay.
So today I'm working on the Sturm and the Drang Catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the Sturm is moving forward. It's an exotic weapon.
Yep.
The Drang is being sunset.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Sturm does not work without the Drang.
Right.
The Drang Baroque does not. I don't know if the Drang Baroque procs the damage buff or not. I'm not sure if it does. Regardless, it came with Season of Opulence, which would mean that it's also being sunset.
Yep.
Because Beloved and Austringer and all them are also being.
Yeah.
So like there is nothing that's going to, and I know that it's like I'm like the 1% person who's even thinking about it, but it's an exotic that literally relies on
another weapon,
a year 1 vanilla D2 weapon in order to function.
Yeah.
So like
same thing with Mida Mini Tool,
Mm-hmm. Here's something that I'm kind of thinking of with all this. We saw the list of weapons that we're going to be getting next season as part of the loot pool. TBL showed his incredible skills of his incredible memory skills the other
I was just
last
going
week.
off of planetary drops.
It was wonderful. It was great. But I think we'll see Drang again. I think we'll see them filter back through. I think there will be sunsetting of the weapons that you got prior to sunsetting. And then after sunsetting, they'll just be like, well, we don't have to redesign this. We don't have to pay to redesign this weapon. We just have to put new perks on it. And if it works, like especially in Drang's case and the Mida Mini Tool, those I think would be prime candidates for that kind of push forward.
Right. There has to be exceptions.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be, because there's quite a few little legendaries like that just won't work in a system where things are sunset.
Yeah.
I just feel like the ritual pinnacle weapons probably should be part, like, and I don't like Mountaintop. I don't.
Yeah.
But maybe that should be some stuff that's thrown in with the exotics that also progresses, because it wasn't just like this was something you actually had to do to acquire.
A huge amount of work went into getting
it's a pretty significant time sink.
Yeah.
The Hush was a pretty significant time sink. The Breakneck.
What if you made those exotic?
Some of them probably should be exotic.
Yeah.
To be perfectly
Some of them
honest.
should have been exotic from the get-go.
Right.
But
But now they've kind of lived in our lore long enough. They've lived on our characters long enough that they kind of deserve it in a certain amount. That being said, that would also limit your use of other exotics, so it would change the way that they play, and you're also going to be getting other gear and other weapons for the other slots, right? So that would fundamentally change not only how they play, but how you play with them.
Yeah. It's a really odd situation, because we actually talked about this last week, Dan. I made the point that I think I'm along the lines with Aura. A lot of these were tied to quests and challenges that took a significant amount of time to get done. And I would argue that those probably should be exempt from the blanket sunsetting that's going to be happening to generic legendary gear. But on the other hand of that, sunsetting, as we talked about, is probably exclusively happening because of these pinnacle weapons. I 100% believe that the notion of bringing back sunsetting is because of stuff like Mountaintop. They're bringing it back because of stuff like Recluse, because of stuff like Luna's Howl and Not Forgot. And it's kind of a hard situation to balance. On one hand, I completely believe that these weapons should probably have some sort of exemption. Maybe make it harder to infuse them. Maybe make all of the infusions for those weapons require a golf ball, so that you can't just willy-nilly infuse it with every random blue you get every time they raise the power level. But at the same time, that's the explicit reason why they're putting in sunset, because they don't want you using your Mountaintop anymore.
Yeah.
And granted, to be fair, they haven't explicitly stated that, but come on. Come on. It's to get you off of your Mountaintop. It's to get you off of your Recluse.
Yeah.
And I think some part of that does kind of disrespect the amount of time that went into getting those weapons. Because there are people who probably just completed Mountaintop this season and will have an entirely worthless weapon in another season or two.
What if there was a certain percentage that you had done of the quest? So like, say on Mountaintop, because Mountaintop is another one that is incredibly long as far as, like, say you're like 60% done with it. Auto-completing it to me and having it for 3 months, or like, and having it in collections, doesn't bother me at that case.
You didn't earn it.
You didn't.
And you're going to severely piss off everybody.
There's an asterisk next to the to their name in the book.
I'm sorry, but they are a grind for a reason. You are to complete the grind. You didn't do it. You don't get it. Like I'd be so mad if they were like, "Oh, you're at 55% on your Mountaintop." Okay. Whereas I had to like literally lose my freaking mind playing Momentum Control or whatever it was, where like to try and like. I'm not even kidding you. I went a little bit bonkers. Anybody in chat who was there watching me earn it, like I kind of lost my mind a little bit. So yeah, I'd be a little bit mad if people were just given something that I had to go out and literally sweat and grind and curse and yell in order to acquire. Like Breakneck, I'm not going to be all that upset about, because all you had to do is go out there and AR kills again in Gambit. Like, all right, that's not that bad. The Mountaintop had some really shitty aspects to it.
Yeah. There were crazy challenges for Mountaintop.
Yeah.
Which is, again, why I say don't auto-complete. Maybe take another pass at changing some of the requirements to complete certain steps. Maybe lower a few of those. But people should complete the content to get the reward. I 100% agree with that. And also, I feel really bad with sunsetting coming up real soon. I feel really bad for a lot of the lesser used pinnacle weapons that were worthless from the get-go. RIP Oxygen.
Yeah,
never got your time in the sun.
Never got good. That was
bad. And stuff like Loaded Question, which is incredible fusion rifle for PvE, never really got its time in the sun.
Totally outshined. Radaka has a question that kind of feeds in this. With the update to weapons, what guns are you looking forward to trying again?
Which update?
I don't know. He just said with the update.
not sure which weapon update he's referring to there. But I'm going to assume it's going to have to do with the world drops that are going to be coming along with the next season, because of course we talked a bit about the new weapons and returning weapons that are going to be popping up. I'm really happy about a couple of weapons popping up, but none more so than the nature of the beast. I talked a bit about this last week too. It is the year 1 energy hand cannon that I had a lot of fun with. Back in year 1 of D2, and I'm looking forward to it being brought back.
Yeah,
I don't even know what's going to be available.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to be using Seraph weapons, since that's all I know will be allowed to be brought forward.
I like a lot of the Seraph weapons, honestly.
They're not bad. They're really not bad.
They're
not
good,
bad. I got a Blasphemer today that I was told would actually be pretty good when they make the update to it. This is what chat said, so grain of salt time. But they could just be trolling me. Swashbuckler and auto-loading holster with a range masterwork on it. It's already got 78 range. So
yeah, on a what?
On a blasphemer. It's the shotgun.
Like shotguns have a max range cap, where if you have more range than there is, it doesn't actually give you more range anymore. And I think it's at 70.
Okay.
I think anything over 7. I don't quote me on that. It's been a minute, but I think anything over 70 is a wash.
Yeah.
So things like opening shot and quick draw are what people are looking for.
Gotcha.
Like a range barrel and a range masterwork, I think gets you where you want to be.
So something that we didn't get to talk to Aura about are the changes to reload perks that are coming.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it funny that I tweeted out and I was like, I want damage perks to go away. I like and give breathing room to other perks. And I was like almost maliciously attacked by people.
Personally attacked.
Almost. And Chevy was like, and I love Chevy. He's a homie. He's like, I wouldn't play the game if that were the case. He's like, if they don't do a blanket buff to damage on weapons, I would not play without my damage perks. And he's got a point. In order for us to kind of put down the damage perks, we would have to have a blanket buff on our weapons, because using a 140 hand cannon in PvE and 2-tapping a drag is not fun.
It's not.
So that out of the way, the reload stuff, it's bothersome to me because everything about this game and being an effective player is how quick you can kill your target and move on to your next one.
Mm-hmm.
And I go back to Fatebringer being so strong, and I go back to the confluxes in Vault of Glass, because I think this is the best example that exists of this. You want to point, you want to shoot, you want to death, you want to point and shoot. However many times you got 12 rounds, you want to have 12 kills, and then you want to be able to reload immediately to go back and get those additional 12. And so anything that they're putting in front of us to slow that down is taking away, in my opinion, from the gameplay experience in and of itself. I'm not a fan of slowing down reload speeds. Now, it didn't sound like it was a major difference. Like Feeding Frenzy and Outlaw don't sound like they're getting hit into the ground. Might be a millisecond or so difference between it. Like, I can live with that. But who knows how it would also work. Maybe things like Reload Masterworks are now going to actually have value, whereas as of right now, Reload Masterwork is like, dude, this sucks. Like,
yeah.
So maybe things like that come into play. The big thing for me is I don't want to have to use a 110 hand cannon to one-shot red bars in PvE.
Yep.
I want 140s to have breathing room. But I can understand a 150 and a 180 not one-tapping, but like, come on, dude. Yeah. So we'll see more how it plays, because numbers don't mean anything to me. Like, you can see, like, it's going from a 0.25 to a 0.374 on a Tuesday when the sun's like, it doesn't mean anything to me until I actually like have the chance to experience it.
When the sun is high in the sky, that's when you're going to get a 5 times buff on this weapon. Also, your girlfriend will love you more.
Good perk.
It's a great perk. That's exotic almost.
That made me so happy, because Aura, you are my boy. Quite literally exactly what I said last week when I was reading this. This is an FPS. Anything that makes it take longer for me to get back into shooting my targets is not good. Yeah. And so wasn't happy at all. I'll keep it that short.
Being rewarded for accuracy, right? So like Outlaw and Feeding Frenzy reward you for precision shots. So like, and I understand, like, first, it was like everything was reloading automatically. If we were in a rift with Lunas, we got rid of that. Now we get increased reload speed. Fine. Now you're taking the increased reload speed and you're dumbing that down. Are we actually killing things too quickly? Because it honest to God feels like it's taking us forever to actually kill shit. Mm-hmm. Like, so that's where's this reload thing actually? Where's the source of this problem? Because it didn't feel like it was an issue. If anything, it was that increased damage perks where, like, this gun doesn't have swashbuckler or kill clip or multi-kill clip or rampage, therefore it is a useless weapon to me. So like, I'm kind of curious as to where this actually came from.
I'm not sure about the psychology of it, but don't like it.
Bo Solaris, a Friday streamer here on the Planet Destiny channel, makes a good point, saying, I mean, hunters won't ever have to feel the reload nerfs.
Same thing with transversive steps on Warlocks.
Yeah.
So the only one who actually has to reload is a Titan. So what you do is you get an AR and you put on Actium War rigs and you're
never reload.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside of that, I think the last question of the day, I think that'll be the show. Gray Fox 2K30. You're watching the Almighty get destroyed. Who do you want to be your tower partner to watch it burn?
Oh man.
Like, is this anybody, Gray Fox? If it's anybody, I have some notes. But if it's just people, like in
Let's
the
go with
community-
anybody then.
All right.
Let's go with anybody.
All right. I think Robert Redford would be pretty cool.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Sweeper Bot.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of sweeping. That's meant to be a lot
over by the
of
crater?
sweeping. Oh,
Anybody
man.
in the tower. He says anybody in the tower. It's not anybody. So I have to take back Robert
okay.
Redford.
Guardian Robert Redford then.
Yeah.
Oh, I would feel bad for Sweeperbot because it's just you can watch the simulated depression program starting up. You got to clean up all of that nonsense. Anybody in the tower? What's the name of the robot who like works for Callus now?
Benedict.
Is it Xander? Benedict. Xander was the old bounty bot from D1. Benedict. I think it'd be kind of funny because he'd probably have a direct, I don't know, Zoom call to Callus, so I'd be able to sit there and chat with Callus as everything is happening there. So, probably pretty cool.
Oh, that would be great.
Just as long as it's not Hawthorne, because she'll just look at you and say, "You never quit, do you?"
Yeah. She said that to me immediately afterward.
Oh no. So that happened.
Yeah.
You never quit, do you?
No. I guess if I have to change my answer to not Robert Redford, Banshee 44. I think.
Oh.
I mean, he didn't get to watch it. He was sitting there like polishing a gun. Everybody else was out there. He's just like, damn it, I gotta be here. So I'd watch it with him. He wouldn't remember it, maybe. But you know what? You gotta get your kicks while you can. You gotta get your kicks while you can with the people that you love. So yeah, that would be it for me.
I can see people screaming right now. Saint 14, Saint 14. No, because he would talk throughout the entire thing. He would be feeding birds throughout the entire thing. And when the bits of the Almighty came crashing down, he would be the guy to try to jump and yeet in front of it and pop a bubble.
Yeah,
and he'd drag you with him. No, I don't want to do that. So no.
Guardian down.
I love Saint 14, but no.
So yeah.
Well, all right. Was that the last question?
That was the last question of the night.
Well, all right, gentlemen. I do believe that is a show. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to episode 242 of the Planet Destiny podcast, the last one of the season of the Worthy. We are just a day or two away from the release of Season of the Redacted. Might be called Season of the Arrival. We'll find out all of that on Tuesday, June 9th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, when Bungie is going to be showing us what we're going to be doing next. We have no idea what it's going to entail. And it's, like we said earlier, probably one of the more exciting times in Destiny's history, because this is the first time they've done something like this. So I cannot wait to see what we are going to be learning when Tuesday rolls around. But all right, before we get on out of here, of course, we are going to let you know where you can find us all across the internet, starting with Mr. Aura. What's up, buddy?
I don't know when I'm going to stream again, so you can maybe catch me at twitch.tv/Aura if I'm not DMCA banned in a week or something like that. You can always catch me on Twitter, twitter.com/evilr, 3VIL_AURA. We'll see. Hopefully I make a return to streaming real soon. It feels good to be back with you guys again.
Same. Feels good to have you.
It's just whatever the hell happens in my life anymore. We take it every day at a time. So good news is my car didn't blow up.
Hey, perfect.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Dan?
Hi, my name's Danfinity. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Danfinity, where the eyes are L's. You can find me on Twitch 3 days a week, twitch.tv/Danfinity. This week, I think I got the movie of the week emblem, guys. I think I'm getting it because I was a part of IRL Guardians video that's at the bottom there. If you go about 3 minutes in, I'm the boss stomp mechanic.
Beautiful.
And so I got that. We have on side quests, I actually had a lost episode. I interviewed Young Khan, and it was a great and beautiful conversation. And then technical difficulties. So hoping to have him next week. I'm going to have Vivi Lightbody next week as well. She's an excellent singer-songwriter based out of Chicago, Illinois, for next week's episode. And just take care of each other and take care of the community around you and love one another. Don't let the bastards get you down.
That's right. Good stuff there. Make sure you check out SideQuest. It's a great show. Fantastic show. You've always got really good guests on there, and it's always a really entertaining time to sit back and listen to life stories. But all right, of course, my name is The Black Link. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all at The Black Link. This week, Season of the Redacted is going live, and I'd imagine with that there's going to be a lot of news to cover. I got back into streaming this past week. It's been a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun playing Destiny 2 and Final Fantasy 14 and all kinds of other stuff on stream, and I'm looking to continue that on into this week. And of course, with a brand new season of content, there's going to be a lot of stuff to stream. For all the news stuff, of course, you can check me out over on YouTube at youtube.com/Planet Destiny. That's where we'll be putting all the biggest bits of news, and you can bet your sweet ass there's going to be a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff going on there because, again, we have no preparation for what's coming this season. So it's going to be a pretty interesting time. But all right, everybody, that is it for episode 242 of the Planet Destiny podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all in next week's season. Bye, everybody.